Electrocast.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. We're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/MBO. Terms and conditions apply.
When Sweet Tarts dared to combine sweet and tart, they thought, why stop there? Why not create other exciting and unexpected combinations, like rainbows and ropes, or fruity and gummy, or chewy and more chewy? That's why they created fun treats like Sweet Tarts Twisted Rainbow Ropes, Gummies Fruity Splits, and Chewy Fusions. When you dare to combine, it's sure to blow your mind. Sweet Tarts, dare to combine. Visit sweettartscandy.com to shop now.
Last week on Ghost Hampton, Lyle called a police sketch artist. He pays him to recreate Jewel. Next morning, his neighborhood is overrun by chanting Ghost fans. Fraser calls. Lyle is due at court now. Entering court, Mose the reporter pounces. Judge Sloan slaps down Lyle. To save old Vic, he must move into the place. Flo's team waits to whisk him to Montauk.
She's facing away, head cocked upward, in black leather jacket and pants, the form-fitting kind, and black heels. Rich dark hair falls in all directions to her shoulders, including a shock of bangs that meets the top of her mysterious dark glasses. Her chin is turned upward insolently. Lyle imagines he could really go for insolence. He focuses on her generous lips as they form syllables. He senses that she's arguing her case, likely with her boss or whomever controls the company's purse. One of the guys in black steps over to her. He gestures over at Lyle Hall. With a shake of her mane of hair, Silk draws a bead on him. She abruptly disconnects and strides his way. Lyle experiences a wave of conflicting impulses as Silk approaches. She's way more compelling in person than her photo, which was pretty compelling. Her movements are almost cat-like, or a predator from some superhero film. Lyle doesn't watch such fare, but the trailers are unavoidable. Silk stops in front of Lyle, hands on her hips, and looks down at him, a mischievous curl to her upper lip.
Lyle, this is Silk.
Silk's hand extends to his, and he takes it.
So nice to finally meet you, Lyle.
Lyle, who made his fortune blabbing in court, is at a loss for words. He can smell her leather.
So nice.
Silk eyes her prize. Reflected in her dark lenses, Lyle looks small. Flo steps forward.
If you checked your email, you'd know we've made plans to whisk you away from the maddening crowd to a safe place. Did you pack a bag?
A safe place?
Right. Do you have a bag in this van? Do you need anything?
Yes. No.
Silk glances at Flo, then squats on her haunches and takes Lyle's hand again.
Lyle, you do want to come away with us, don't you? Talk with us, help us tell the world your true story. Leave the little Moses what's-his-name types behind and take your rightful place as a champion for good. Don't you, Lyle?
Fred is watching from the driver's seat of his van. Lyle's answer affects his day and his pay, but more chants are rising, and it's hard to hear. The crowd figured out where Lyle went. Some filter around the corner of the courthouse and signal to their cohorts. Their cries to each other have an edge to them, more like catcalls or jeers. Lyle knows public opinion is fickle and can change in a second these days. The van, black and silent, creeps up close and stops. Lyle realizes it's electric. It's temporarily blocking the crowd's view of their quarry. One of the young guys, Josh, is out of the van and slides open its side panel. Inside is nice plush seating. Josh stands there expectantly. Silk rests her hands on Lyle's wheelchair armrests, leaning in.
That little man Mose wrote about you again. An interview with an old man named...
Glenn Stanley.
Glenn. Glenn was upbeat about you, but Mose still dragged you down into the gutter with innuendo. You know him.
I do.
It's time to leave little people like them in the dust.
Silk stands up and wipes figurative dust from her palms. She turns to Josh, and Lyle takes in the tailoring work that went into fitting her leather pants.
Saddle up, boys and girls. We'll talk more at the hotel.
Silk strides off to the other side of the black van. Lyle can hear the crowd, the believers, assembling and organizing their I saw her face chant. He senses how enamored they are with Silk. 2 believers work their way around to Lyle's side of the van. Instead of calling out to their friends, they turn secretive. They sidle up to him and whisper requests that Lyle sign their copies of Jules' picture. Flo stands nearby protectively. Looking to her for guidance, she hands him a Sharpie.
Just this once.
The 2 fans, a college-age boy and girl in hippie-ish garb, skip happily around the van to rejoin their group.
Now or never, Flo.
Need help getting in the van?
Lyle, not wanting to establish himself as infirm, weighs off Flo's offer, gets up from his chair, and moves unsteadily to the open van. Josh helps him take a seat inside.
How about your wheelchair?
Let Fred take it.
Lyle and Flo, seated inside, the van's side panel silently slides shut. The van gets underway, a big kid named Chad behind the wheel. Flo and this young guy Josh are seated behind Chad and can swivel to face Lyle, who is belted into a bench seat. Lyle gets a negative vibe from Josh. Tall, thin, long hair, stubble beard, glasses, all in black. He gives off a know-it-all aura and a sense that he's too good for this gig. There's something else Lyle can't put his finger on. Flo rotates to face Lyle.
Where is Silk?
Silk left in her BMW. She doesn't travel with the cast and crew.
Oh. Travel where?
Montauk. Far enough away, but still local.
Lyle wants to ask what hotel, but thinks the better of it. As the sleek black van maneuvers around, he gets the full picture. A lot of the crowd, mostly ragtag believers, have come to the back of the courthouse. Chad, the driver, is carefully negotiating between and around them. The windows, Lyle notes, are blacked out. There are a few TV news crews at the edge of the crowd doing stand-ups or interviewing believers. Lyle spots the Channel 12 crew interviewing Becky Tuttle again. Pulling away now, they pass the vanbulance stalled among the crowd. Some think Lyle is back in Fred's van. They behave like aggrieved demonstrators. Some are garden variety ghost enthusiasts desiring a piece of Lyle or an autograph. Behind the wheel, Fred looks lost. Watching the van as the FearNet mobile glides off, Lyle grows concerned. It's been rocked. Chad directs the vehicle east on Sunrise Highway and quietly accelerates. Josh is busy on his iPad. Flo is staring at Lyle from her perch. She reminds him of Phyllis, the plump middle-aged character in the old Office sitcom.
We need to talk about you working with us as a team member, not a rogue agent acting on his own.
Where is Silk?
Never mind Silk, Lyle. You'll have plenty of Silk. The issue before us is you understanding your role in this organization and coming to terms with the agenda.
Agenda?
We do big television production, not this small-time cable news stuff. There are lots of interlocking parts that require teamwork and a dedication to a shared goal.
Sounds lofty. And I...
You are the meat.
Josh briefly looks up from his iPad. Flo shoots him a look and turns back to Lyle.
You are the focal point of this news cycle, but Silk intends to extend your story, ride it to the top. We all do.
Top of what?
National Broadcast Television. Entertainment Tonight, The View, and more. Big magazine cover stories, a speaking tour, books. I thought we went through this.
Can I meet Mary Hart?
That program skews younger now. We could ask Silk if she might arrange something for an older crowd.
Way older.
It would mean a lot. So, where is Silk?
She went ahead to Montauk, probably on the phone with the head honcho at Fearcom.
Who?
Chilton Gregg, of the Hartford Greggs. Old money.
A.K.A. Chatsworth Osborne Jr.
That name rings a bell with Lyle, a character from an old 50s sitcom.
Talking about...
Budget. Always budget.
We'll see the budget in action when we see our rooms.
Well, I don't get paid anything. That much I remember.
You're getting invaluable professional service, Lyle.
Priceless.
Lyle gives Josh a long look. The young guy's smart, probably talented, and, like most people trying to move up in their chosen field, frustrated. And, like most people, there's that hidden something.
Where is this big television produced? New York? Isn't this the wrong direction?
Production will be high-end, but the setting will be intimate.
The term intimate triggers Lyle.
Oh, just Silk and me?
Flo is reading Lyle right now, and he knows it. But he suddenly has a fit. His eyes roll up in his head. He shivers and sweats profusely. The van is rolling through the Bridgehampton intersection on Montauk Highway, the intersection where Lyle's Hummer killed Elsie Crop, the Veterans Monument where his vehicle crashed, almost killing him. Flo and Josh exchange a worried glance, and Flo rises to sit next to Lyle. He's shuddering, fingers digging into the upholstery, and Flo cradles his shoulders in her arms. As she does, horrific visions pass into Flo's consciousness. She experiences Elsie's desperate last minutes. Firemen trying to save her assume Lyle was drunk and died in the crash. Lyle is trapped at the wheel of his wrecked SUV, his life ebbing away.
Chad, got it! Get us out of here!
Chad accelerates. Bridgehampton recedes behind him. Lyle starts to come out of it. Suddenly he blinks his eyes and is startled to see Flo so close to him.
Shit! What the
Lyle, you've had a psychic reaction to driving through the intersection where you had your...
Flo opens a cold bottle of water and gives it to the patient. He exhales, takes a sip and looks out the window.
We don't have to go there now. But you do know you are empathic. Right, Lyle?
Sometimes.
Lyle takes a deep swig of water and wants to change the subject. He looks at Flo.
So, Silk, where is she?
Silk drove on ahead. We'll meet up in Montauk. We've chosen a hotel to shoot our interview segments, possibly at the hotel bar. Adult setting, moody lighting.
Oh, is it Gurney's? That's my favorite. But it's sunny there, not moody.
Flo and Josh know Gurney's is frequented by guests with money to burn.
It's not Gurney's, but it's a hotel the Rolling Stones frequented. Supposed to be great.
Lyle flips through his memory file and gets a shock.
The Rolling Stones? In Montauk? That was 50 years ago.
So?
That place is an utter...
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. We're driven by the search for better, but when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/MBO. Terms and conditions apply.
The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is,
"Thank you for calling. Please listen to your list of 46 possible service options."
which is why when you choose USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable. 24/7 online service for claims, access to roadside assistance, and more, all at the touch of a button. Start getting the service you deserve. Get a quote today. Ability to receive a quote depends on membership eligibility. Membership eligibility and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. USAA means United Services Automobile Association and its affiliates, San Antonio, Texas.
Van, slowing down, hits a speed bump as it rolls into a parking lot. Lyle looks out and unpleasant memories of past indiscretions shoot through him. It's not a great place. It's the Memory Motel, and the past 50 years have not been kind. Southampton Police Station, same time. A backpack on one shoulder, Georgie Hall bustles into the lobby and past Sergeant Swanson at the duty desk. As far as she's concerned, Swanson either desecrated her locker himself or knows who did. The portly, soon-to-retire cop has maintained an untoward interest in Georgie, including during her early days as a beat cop. His shtick is to whistle the 5 opening notes of the corny 60s song Georgie Girl whenever she enters or leaves. Now she ignores Swanson, her dead-set demeanor exuding "Don't fuck with me." Then she hears the 5 notes. Georgie stops abruptly and turns back towards Swanson. He feels a sudden chill, but mustn't show it outwardly.
Swanson?
Hey there.
Swanson, you're always here. When you finally retire.
As the end of his law enforcement career draws near, Swanson's been busy sucking up to Chief Queeley. The more hours Queeley gives him at the duty desk, the beefier his retirement checks will be. He's surprised by the personal question.
Couple of months. Chief is working out a package for me.
How nice for you. Chief Queeley knows about my locker being defaced.
Oh, that, well, it's all clean up now, you'll see.
I did see. But I dusted the door and got fingerprints.
Swanson's face drops.
The lab will have results in a day or 2. You'll still be here?
Swanson doesn't respond.
Queeley knows about my locker. And you know about my locker.
Swanson is good at not reacting very much. He stares back at the detective and fiddles with a stubby pencil. Georgie straightens herself. About to head to the locker room, she emphasizes a last thought.
Fingerprints, Swanson.
Georgie heads out of the lobby and stiff-arms the door to the lockers. That's when Swanson responds bluntly.
Chief wants to see you.
Seated before the rotund Irish-American cop from a long line of cops, Georgie is tall enough to look Chief Queeley squarely in the eye. She has a businesslike graduate degree air about her. Honey-colored hair pulled straight back, grey pantsuit, no jewelry, the right weight for her height. Blue eyes framed by dark lashes and a none-too-happy knit to her brow. That pain-in-the-arse Lyle Hall's smart daughter. Queeley's big pink fingers fidget.
So, how pissed are you?
Georgie finds the question unprofessional and just stares back at him. He decides to be more by the book.
I spoke with your father.
How is he?
Unsure of the exact clinical term. He is very worried about you.
Georgie does not react. Queeley shifts his considerable weight.
Things like this old Vic demonstration don't end well. All we can hope is that it ends soon. Your father has the power to make that happen.
I have insisted that he do so. He said he will. He was in court this morning cleaning things up.
Detective, strangers and oddballs with painted faces running through the streets of Bridgehampton and demonstrating at the Justice Court is not cleaning things up. Then there's the burden on the department's overtime budget alone, and the serious damage to this area's reputation as a resort.
My father has agreed to do what he can to end it. In court, in the media.
His debacle before Judge Sloan this morning has been widely reported.
Georgie, unaware of the latest, is rattled that any disruption Lyle involved himself in at court has already gone viral.
I have spoken to him on the phone. My time has been taken up with a department-related issue by day while working on the overnight shift on surveillance.
Swanson cleaned up your locker, and whatever comments were written near your name on the duty board.
I want to move my locker.
He can do that for you.
I don't want him to have the key.
Queeley squints and tries not to register surprise. It's departmental protocol that the desk sergeant has all keys.
I took prints off the door earlier when I emptied my locker. I put them through to the lab.
After Swanson cleaned, he could have left prints while cleaning.
It was not too clean. Chief, I'm going to find out who is doing this to me. It's sexual harassment. It's illegal.
Whoa. We don't know yet who did what, and a balloon here and a boo there are more locker room humor than federal case.
The balloon was a condom.
Well, it's gone now. Swanson discarded it.
That's tampering with evidence.
Chief Queeley folds his hands, leans across the desk toward Georgie and speaks in low conspiratorial voice.
Detective, has it occurred to you there may be a connection between your father's embarrassing adventures and any discomfort you experience on the job, cause and effect?
He doesn't wait for her to respond.
I want you to take a leave of absence. Focus on getting Lyle Hall out of all this trouble he caused. Come back when it all blows over.
Georgie feels a cold shock all over. No big surprise. Queeley moving her around like a pawn. But pulling out of her first real case, a suspected drugs and prostitution ring, of all things, to babysit a crazy parent sounds like career suicide. Her body language alone conveys enough to her boss. Georgie abruptly stands, a breach of protocol as if to leave, then leans across Chief Queeley's desk.
I am not asking for special treatment. I'm asking to be treated like a professional. I do not want to resort to internal affairs. Prince will be back from the lab tomorrow.
Detective, you know, people are waving signs featuring an artist's conception of Lyle's ghost girl. It looks so much like the work of a police sketch artist. We are looking into how that drawing came to be. There's only one such artist at this precinct. Speaking of internal affairs.
That exchange ended jaggedly. Georgie struts out of her unmarked surveillance car. Her backpack now holds her locker stuff. She chirps the car to life and throws the bag on the back seat. Opening the driver's door, she sees it. Leering up at her is another inflated condom, this taped to the driver's seat. It's quivering in the rush of air accompanying the open door. Its crudely drawn black Sharpie face is an attempt to mimic the ghost from Scream movies. Fury rushes through her veins, followed by hot embarrassment. Georgie bats the thing off her seat with her briefcase, and it bobbles obediently to the passenger floor. Seated behind the wheel, she takes deep breaths. Looking out the windshield at the station house, she wonders how many cops are involved in this, or complicit, or just enjoying the show. Exhaling, Georgie dials her phone. Sergeant Frank Bassotti.
Hi, it's me, Flo. Remember me from Ghost Hampton, the podcast? I was secretly in love with Lyle Hall. Well, now I'm dead and loving it. But let's talk about you. If you loved listening to Ghost Hampton, you can now spend the summer in the Hamptons. The original episodes are back, and now new episodes will be dropping every Friday. I may drop in too, just to make Lyle feel guilty. Ghost Hampton, the podcast, is now streaming everywhere.